The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Health Department reports over 5,200 new COVID-19 cases. This brings the country's total caseload to around 2,756,000, nearly 61,000 of which are still active. Now, at least 208 people died of the virus overnight, bringing the death toll to 41,700. Total recoveries, meanwhile, are at 2.65 million. This after 7,300 new survivors were recorded in the past 24 hours. Around 10% of the 52,800 tests included in today's bulletin yielded positive results. The DOH says over 8,600 children with comorbidities have been vaccinated so far against COVID-19. In the Laging Handa briefing on Saturday, Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeres said 4 children experienced adverse effects yesterday. 1 minor experienced anxiety-related reaction from the jab, while 3 others were due to allergic reactions. Despite this, Vergeres assured parents that the vaccines being administered to children are safe and effective.
The government will not expose our children to any harm. Lagi po yan, yung safety po ay primary concern natin, specifically para sa ating mga kabataan. We are ensuring and we are guaranteeing our mga parents po na mga kabataan na to na safe po yung mga lugar na pinagsasagawaan natin itong mga pagbabakuna sa ating mga kabataan.
3 out of 5 BJMP detainees have already been vaccinated against COVID-19, according to the Interior Department. The DILG said nearly 76,000 persons deprived of liberty have already received their first shot. Of this number, more than 40,000 have received their second dose of the vaccine. Interior Secretary Eduardo Año said the vaccination program for PDLs will not stop until everyone have been fully immunized. Año added that everyone deserves to be protected against COVID-19. Now, early in the pandemic, wealthier countries have easier access to vaccines as compared to economically challenged ones. But recently, vaccine distributors have eased up the limitations on which countries to prioritize. What's the implication of this? Let's find out in this Bloomberg video.
Right now, there's capacity, which is increasing almost on a weekly basis. So we don't really have the limitations anymore in terms of we have to make decisions about who to prioritize in terms of countries. We have enough of that vaccine to go around. It really is a distribution issue right now, and it really falls into a little bit more of the economic ring, where you have to decide who's paying for these vaccines and how to distribute them and get them to the places that's most needed. We have a surplus here in the U.S. Anybody can walk in and without waiting get a vaccine. Other countries are still waiting to get any amount to really move things forward.
How much does each vaccine cost? I mean, I don't mean country by country, but just I have no idea what it costs to get my booster shot the other day.
And no one does, and that's one of the things that is an advantage to us here in the U.S. and in many other countries. But, you know, anywhere from $25 to $40 for a vaccine dose is what is probably needed to get that distributed. And who's bearing that cost is going to be important. Some of the countries and areas of Africa, some portions of Southeast Asia, aren't really getting access to those because they're not competing well right now with some of the more economically forward countries who are able to afford those kind of prices for the vaccines.
Doctor, these are huge issues. And at home, here in America, we've got to decide whether we need a booster shot or not. Now, I'm happy to say vaccinated, you tell me to get a booster, I'll get one. One thing I'm trying to work out is how well protected I am right now. Fully vaccinated, sir, about 5-6 months ago. Doctor, how well protected am I at the moment? Do we even know the answer to that?
We do. But it's also a graded answer. If you're talking about severe disease and hospitalization, you're probably very well protected because there's been a remarkable consistency in terms of protection of the vaccine in individuals between the ages of 18 and 65 who are healthy and don't have any medical conditions that predispose you to COVID-19. And that's why that population hasn't been targeted for boosters, because honestly, it's not needed right now. The efficacy is there and it's holding well.
Yeah.
I think what we'll be seeing in the next couple months is there will be talk of boosters in a more broad sense, but that's because we're going to be moving from the initial strategy, which was to get as many people vaccinated and get as high an immunity as possible. We're going to be switching from that strategy to what is it going to take for us to have long-term immunity for 2-3 years, so that we don't have to worry about taking COVID-19 shots every 6 months or every year. So that's going to be the transition for most individuals.
Meanwhile, the DOH and various health groups are urging parents to get their children vaccinated against preventable disease such as polio. In a joint statement released on World Polio Day, the DOH, WHO, and UNICEF said, "We have to ensure that there will be no polio outbreak again." WHO Philippines Representative Dr. Rabindra Abeyansing also said that the eradication of what was once were commonplace illnesses such as polio shows that vaccines work. Recall that the Philippines registered cases of polio anew in 2019 following mass vaccine hesitancy among parents. In 2020, nearly 500,000 Filipino kids also missed out on routine immunization because pandemic. The DOH also launched its catch-up routine immunization this month to administer safe and free shots to children. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The government aims to inoculate 70% of the target population before the end of the year. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere noted that their target is to give out some 500,000 doses per day this month and 800,000 doses daily by November. Now for December, the goal is to administer 600,000 doses to cover 70% of the target population. A low-pressure area off Palawan embedded along the Intertropical Convergence Zone, or ITCZ, will bring scattered rains to some parts of Luzon and Visayas. The LPA was last spotted some 205 kilometers west-northwest of Puerto Princesa City. Pagasa said moderate to heavy rains can be expected before the weather disturbance exit the country's area of responsibility by tonight or tomorrow morning. And Carlos Yulo has redeemed himself as he clinches gold in the vault of finals of the 50th FIG Artistic Gymnastics World Championships. Now, after a crucial misstep cost him the gold in the floor exercise, Yulo ruled the vault despite entering only third best in qualifications. It was a clean execution of the Dragulescu vault in his second attempt, which secured him the gold as he scored 15.033. Yulo scored an average of 14.916 in his two attempts. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Account now www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.